I know at the beginning, I sacrificed literally everything I had, all my money, my body getting in crashes, everything to ride motorcycles. And there was so much negativity from people because they're like, oh, you're too small, you're a girl, you don't have money, you don't know what you're doing. But then my life has been so enriched and so fulfilled, and all the opportunities and everything I've done is because of motorcycles.
Dang. What's up, y'all? I'm Jake from Prism Supply. Welcome to our series, My Garage. In this episode, we're in Monterey, California at Laguna Seca racetrack featuring my friend, Patricia Fernandez-West. Patricia is a professional motorcycle racer for Hooligan Racing as well as King of the Baggers in the Moto America series. Also a influencer in this industry and a trainer of people that want to ride motorcycles.
Yeah, all people.
So Patricia, this is a bit of a unique episode for us because we're not at your home garage.
No.
Where are we?
So we're at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, Monterey. One of the most epic, legendary race weekends. So we're here for the Moto America round. For us, it's a double header. We compete in the Mission Food King of the Baggers class and the Mission Food Super Hooligan class. So it's quite busy for us here at Team Saddleman. Yeah.
Give me the walk around of this bike. This started as a stock Pan America?
Yeah, so this is a 2022 Pan America. And
just fully stripped down and then
mostly.
built back
the motor and the swing arm are basically probably the only original things besides the controls on this bike.
What's it feel like going that fast, but then also at the same time you're elbow to elbow with the person next to you?
I could ride with some of these guys and we could be leaned on each other, like literally touching through a turn, and I'd be comfortable because I know that rider knows what they're doing, and I know that they hold their line. It's what you say in racing, you hold your line.
Right.
When you get offline is when you get more dangerous. But you're always eyes forward, eyes up, like what's next? So you don't even look at it, but then you'll come in and you'll see like tire marks on your side. Like I've had tire marks on the leathers, or you'll see paint on your bike. You're like, oh man, that was a lot closer than I realized. You know, I don't come from a racing background of any kind. No one in my family, or I didn't grow up doing it. I don't know what sparked it. I just, probably like most other people, I told my parents I wanted a motorcycle and they told me to move out of the house.
Same story for me.
Yeah, they weren't encouraging it at all. My parents never treated me differently, but they would always tell me I would have to work harder being a girl, because I always said I want to be a jet pilot, I want to be things, because my dad flew helicopters, you know, and at the time there wasn't really women in it, and my dad never told me that a girl couldn't do something. He would just say, you know, like, Mija, you're going to have to work so much harder, and I'd just be like, okay. So they instilled a hard work ethic in me, and being in military school, like one of the first memories my parents or family could tell you was they had a men's physical fitness test and then a women's one. And I was there begging my teacher to let me do the men's one because the girl one was like so easy. It was just like, I want to do the cool stuff the guys are doing. And he wouldn't let me, and I came home crying to my mom because I was so upset. And you know, my mom definitely gets some of my toughness from her too. It was like, okay, I'm gonna go with you to school tomorrow. And I don't know what the exact words were exchanged at the time, but she just came up to me and was like, I talked to your teacher, go do the course. And I was like, what? She goes, you go do that course. And I knew the way she looked at me, it was like, you go. And I actually ended up beating all the guys, and like at the end of the obstacle, you climb this really high rope and ring the bell, and I beat everyone and I won. My mom had my back and she fought for me to do what I wanted, and I did it, and then I proved myself, and it was just so rewarding. I started club racing and I was at amateur level. I won a bunch of championships and I went pro and I started winning championships, and they're like, you should try to qualify for a pro race. People that were around me, I'm like, there's no way. I'm never gonna qualify for a pro race. They're like, you should just try. What's the worst that happens? I remember showing up to my first pro event. It was at New Jersey in 2012, and I was like crying. And I qualified. I raced, and you know, it was just such a crazy feeling to be there and to be on the grid, and I just kept doing it because people around me told me to try. Like, I never in my life was like, I'm gonna be a racer.
It's got to feel really special for you having such an influence in such a male-dominated world, and more importantly, I think an influence of getting females into this sport.
It's honestly like just the inspiration part of it to me is a win, and no one can take that away, because just the feeling of what you can do, like you can get a trophy, but that only lasts but so long, and a trophy will get dust. But inspiring the next generation of women riders and more lady racers, you know, that lives on so much longer. So that's what I love. So this is a Harley Road Glide Limited. This is the bagger that I compete on. It's pretty rad being the only female that's currently doing it, but only ever done it. These bikes are extremely difficult to ride. It has the heart and soul of what the Harley Road Glide Limited is, the street bike that you see that's almost 1,000 pounds people are riding on. But of course it's highly modified to do what we do. For racing, you know, everything with us is about lean angle. So they raise the bikes up a lot to modify them so that we can still get those really cool lean angles and stuff that you see, which is essentially road racing. You have to change the suspension and some of the other stuff, but you know, it's still a bagger. I obviously have the bags on them and have the big handlebars, and the seat height is obviously quite the problem.
I was about to ask you about that.
Yeah, the seat height's quite the problem. That's where I come in. So I'm only 5'3". I'm the shortest.
I'm not much taller than you.
Yeah, it's quite the challenge.
Walk me through your craziest race moment ever. First one that comes to mind.
Oh my God, that's so bad. I would say last year I had 2 of my worst crashes I've probably ever had, which is crazy because 2 of my worst crashes in 9 years, and they were both like a few months apart. So one of them, we were having difficulties. It was on a hooligan bike, and we were struggling with it, and I just started getting this gnarly head shake over a hill, and I ended up crashing like really, really bad. Completely destroyed the bike. Worst crash I've ever in. Have scars all over. And then a few months later, I was actually on the bagger. We were racing at Brainerd, and another motorcycle ended up leaking oil, and I completely wrecked the bike and the oil. And in that situation, because it happened so fast, like I just remember the guys were in front of me, and I just went to reach for my brake lever, like I didn't squeeze it, like nothing, and it was just like.
So what kind of advice would you give anybody that's trying to get into the sport of motorcycling or the sport of motorcycle racing, whether that be male, female?
Well, to me, like if you just want to learn to ride, like I always tell people, like your ego is not your amigo in any way, shape, or form, whether it comes to street riding or racing. You really got to always have that learning mindset, and you got to be open-minded too. You know, because even you take the best pro rider that wins a race, they want to know how can they go faster, how can they learn from it. They're relearning it. Like you can never stop learning. So the best advice, start slow and work your way up. Start with a smaller bike and get comfortable on it, then go up and then go up. Racing or street bike riding, start slow and work your way up. You know, it'll come, it'll all come, but you know, you don't start out going 200 miles an hour and rubbing elbows, but you will get there if you stay consistent and stay open-minded. I know at the beginning, I sacrificed literally everything I had, all my money, my body getting in crashes, everything to ride motorcycles. And there was so much negativity from people because they're like, oh, you're too small, you're a girl, you don't have money, you don't know what you're doing. It was just no, 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 no. And I was just like, yes, fuck you. Like, this is what I want. I can't describe it, because even my own family was like, why are you doing this? Like, no one got it. And I sacrificed everything to be here because I just loved it. But then my life has been so enriched and so fulfilled, and all the opportunities and everything I've done is because of motorcycles.
Dang. That's it for this episode of My Garage. Patricia, thank you so much for doing this with us. It was very special to see basically your weekend living. This is what you get to do on the weekends. It was awesome. Thank you for doing that with us. Where can we find out more about you?
Oh, well, if you want to find me online, definitely all the social. Patricia Fernandez Racing on Facebook, Lady Racer 926 on Instagram, where I post most of my stuff and like to share. And
well, you're truly an inspiration to me as well as many others, and we appreciate you doing this.
Well, thanks so much for being here.
Come in.
Oh,
Thank you.
Appreciate it.